Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to my backyard. And today, since in this next module we're going to be talking about portraiture, I wanted to talk a little bit about lighting, especially in terms of the face and the bust, and just some simple tips when lighting and modifying light for portraiture with just natural ambient illuminated light that you have when you go outside, or maybe you're in a room with lots of light sources. We're not going to get into technical lighting like using strobes or anything like that, but really quick, I just wanted to talk a little bit about getting lit outside, maybe diffusing, bouncing, and modifying natural light. So right now I'm outside. It's kind of a partly cloudy day, so the light might change a little bit, but as you can see, I'm lit from sort of above and in the front. And while this is nice because it illuminates me and it makes for a good exposure, fast shutter speed, and all of that, you can see that I'm kind of squinting, and if my head is tilted down a little bit, I have these deep shadows under my eyes and under my nose, and maybe under any blemishes or imperfections in my face, and sometimes that kind of sharp lighting can be very dramatic. So if you like that sort of thing and you want that sharp look for that type of overhead lighting. However, if you want to provide a little bit of fill and get those shadows filled in and make it a little bit more round and soft, you can use something as simple as a white reflector card, something like this. So I place this here, right? I can catch that light and sort of bounce it in to those shadows a little bit, bring it over here, bounce it in. And this is a nice way to sort of just simply adjust how much light is entering up this way as opposed to coming down this way. Now, this might only do so much depending on how strong the lighting is. So if you need a little bit more bounce, more oomph, you can use something that's more reflective like a mirror or a metallic reflector like this. Ooh, gonna get a sunburn. So you can see that's really effective in bouncing that sunlight over there into my face. And without going into the math and physics of it, you have to sort of look for that angle. So if we're gonna get a nice edge light on the side of my face, right, I have to sort of angle this a little bit until that light is bouncing into my face there, right? And so you can sort of see that change a little bit right there. That's a huge difference. That's like getting a tan in the 60s. Ooh. So that might be a little bit too much. Now, inversely, if there's too much light, but you don't want to use a reflector, you can actually soften the light by diffusing it. And diffusion is really great because it can be done with something as simple as a thin sheet or blanket from your house, but of course you can step it up a little bit by using something like this, which is a diffuser that lets in just a little bit of light, and it sort of evens everything out, softens everything up. If I put it between my subject and my light source, this is often used on really, really bright days with a lot of light, and its real purpose is to break up the directionality of your light source. So if you have a really strong light source like the sun, like this, and it's creating this really directional light with these deep shadows, you can often hold it in between there and it softens everything up, makes it kind of like a cloudy day, right? Where the light is more even. Of course, it's not perfect, and it really depends on the angle and how much light there is, but it's something that's worth playing with. Now, in lots of situations where you and your subject, in the case of a portrait, if it's just you two, this can sometimes be hard to manage, so you might have to clip them up somewhere, or you might have to move your subject. So it might be nice to have an assistant occasionally if you have someone on the sidelines that can hold these things for you, or maybe a stand to clip it to. You'll see photographers using stands a lot just to clip this stuff up. It's very helpful. Not necessary though. The last thing I want to talk about is really simply just thinking about where light is coming from and how it's landing on your subject. As I said, right now, the light is pretty much right in front of me and above, coming down. You can see that from these nice shadows. If you rotate me to the left or right though, it changes where things are illuminated and in shadow. So now instead of being lit from pretty much the front, getting a nice evenly lit face, I can move, right? I can turn to the side and look, and now we have this broad lighting, which is sort of more on the front side, closer to the camera, right? And if the light was over here, then it would be called short lighting, and that's sort of on the back side of the face, far away from the camera. And you can adjust those things by having your subject move. You can move. You you know, you can move the reflector or the diffuser. And now, speaking of diffusers, I have a cloud coming in front of my sun. So that's a really great thing too, is to consider the conditions of your lighting, right? We choose different lighting for different moods. And if a really bright, strong light is something that you want, look for that, plan for that. If you like this nice sort of diffuse, soft lighting, plan for that too. And especially in the case of being outside. And also inside, you can navigate towards windows, diffuse light in windows, open up windows, open up doors. Look for that light that you want on your portrait, because one of the things that really brings a mood, a sentimentality, and a sort of symbolism to a portrait to sort of discuss and present how someone might feel in an image. Lighting is really a strong tool in that. So think about the kind of lighting that you want and how that sort of can be interpreted in terms of how it's falling on your subject and how it looks. Okay, I hope that helped a little bit, and yeah, talk to you later.